All right, welcome to episode 219 of the Linux Lugcast. We're an open podcast /log that meets at 9 p.m. Eastern every first and third Friday of the month using mumble. If you have any questions, comments, or topics you'd like us to discuss and are unable to join us live during the show, you can send us an email at feedback@linuxlugcast.com. You can always just join us and check out Linux Lugcast for the server details. We have a subreddit, link in the show notes. We have a MeWe page, which I don't think anybody said. Morris, you still checking the MeWe page?
I did during the last show.
Oh, you did?
Do you
Cool. Is
see
there anything on there?
BuzzFeed or no? What's it called?
Yep, lots of BuzzFeed. I actually reported several spam messages that were in the group.
Oh,
It wasn't BuzzFeed. It's called something Buzz or
eBuzz?
eBuzz. Is that it? See him
Maybe.
on there?
Yeah,
He's got a lot of interesting videos about
all different
distros.
distros.
Different distros he's reviewing. So if you want to check out some interesting videos, check out our MeWe page. If you're on MeWe, look us up. We're not there, but we've kind of migrated more towards Reddit, where we post things that we wind up talking about on the show sometimes. Actually, we did pretty good at making it through our list last week, didn't we?
Yeah.
Or last time. Time before, I don't think we made it through any of them.
I don't think so.
Let's see, but there's a video version of this. If you want to see these beautiful faces, you can check us out. We have a YouTube channel and we have a PeerTube channel. But the best thing that you should try to do is try and join us live during the show, or the first and third Friday of every month. Get on here, join us, talk to us. If you want to, we have a Jitsi set up where you can see us and you can talk to us.
We want to hear about your problems, your life story, any regrets you may have. Times when you took too much LSD and freaked out.
I can't wait till you actually regret that mustache.
Well, this is permanent, so there's no regrets going on here, buddy. Ladies love it.
And if you want to see Danny's mustache, check out the video.
It is glorious.
I also look good on video.
Mm-hmm.
You do indeed. We need to find a picture for him.
Oh, I found one. I generated
Did you?
one. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's right. Is that the Mountain Dew one?
No, it's in the
better.
Matrix. Yeah, I used Stable Diffusion, the video version.
Yeah, I saw that.
Short video clip of Netminer.
Is that the guy making the was it frittata or whatever with it?
No, that's me.
Was that?
That's me cooking an omelet.
How is your omelet pan? We were promised a review of the omelet pan.
So here's some things I learned about the omelet pan before we get to the movie real quick.
Well, we got to introduce people too.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right, well, let's do that first.
All right, hold on. So just so you know who's talking or have some idea about who's talking, I'm the host for this evening, Honkeymagoo. With us tonight is Joe.
I'm here.
Lovecraft.
Good evening, everyone.
The man who's going to give us that wonderful review of his omelet pan is Minnix.
Hello, I am drinking a Cann lemon lavender soda. If you've ever heard of that, I will also review that on the show.
Lemon and lavender? That sounds horrible.
Oh, we'll
sounds
see.
like something I should wash my hands with.
It's actually pretty good.
Also, mordancy.
He's drinking.
Good evening. Guarana soda from Brazil. That's what the original Ball's soda is based off of. And I finished that and started a Reston Peach.
That's a tea, right?
That's the tea. I have the other two sitting next to me. I'll have those next.
Netminer.
Hello, folks. Hope you're having a nice night.
And hanging out in the background is Origami and Cherry Hill Tony.
Now, Joe, what was that soda that Jackie showed us earlier? Some kind of...
Oh, the Dungeons and Dragons soda?
Yeah.
I don't remember the details on it.
Did you
I can
taste
tell
it?
you about it. I have not yet. I'm saving
Your
that for
microphone's
tomorrow.
back on,
Oh, hold on.
Joe.
Fixed.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I have not tried it yet. I'm gonna try it tomorrow because we're doing the one of the candidates is not able to make it out to the city hall tomorrow, so I'm gonna be standing in his place and shaking people's hands for him.
Okay.
It's Dungeons and Dragons soda.
Yes, it was Dungeons and Dragons energy drink or something.
What's it called?
Mana potion or something.
What's the flavor? Like dragon sweat or?
I haven't tried it yet.
Dragon
I don't
Ball
know.
Sweat.
It might be Dragon Ball Sweat, but you don't know how tasty Dragon Ball Sweat is.
That's true. I've never tried it.
When's the last time you
cinnamon.
tried Dragon Ball Sweat?
I never have. You're absolutely right.
So Lovecraft, what do you think of those few episodes that you've watched of the second season of Dark Angel?
I could definitely see how it's going to be quite a bit different. It's it's not really going in the direction I like, but I'm going to stick it out.
They added a bunch of transgenics, but then they took away all of the flavor that was Dark Angel.
Absolutely, yeah. It's almost like it's a different show.
Now, this is what everybody's protesting about, the transgenics and all
no,
that
that's
stuff.
transgenders.
No, the fact that the show, just that the show completely jumped the shark on the second season. You're talking about a show where it was about basically assassins, and then it just turned into
mutants.
The whole show basically just changed.
Mutants and white people. Very, very much white people.
Honky didn't get my joke.
I guess not. I killed it. Sorry.
It's all right.
Because it turned into a show about transgenics and eugenics. Hey, Jackie, they were asking about that soda that you had brought out, but I didn't remember the details. Yeah, the Dungeons and Dragons soda.
It's 160 calories and it's a cherry limeade.
Cherry limeade. That's the flavor. So it's not Dragon Ball Sweat like you said.
Are you sure?
It's cherry limeade. I've never tried Dragon Ball Sweat to be able to tell you if it tastes like cherry limeade or not, but
you have tried just regular Ball Sweat, just not Dragon Ball Sweat.
Again, said it before.
There you go. There you go. Messing things up, Danny.
I'm just asking questions. So this omelet pan I got, there's a technique to using it. First, it's quote-unquote non-stick, but you need to use a lot of butter so that the egg doesn't stick in it. Also,
non-stick spray will make just about anything non-stick.
A stick of butter, or what are we talking about here?
I use half a tablespoon of butter on each side, and that seems to work out perfect.
So like a quarter stick.
And I make one of two things. You can make omelets or frittatas. And a frittata is just where you put egg on one side and then you fry up your ingredients like pepper and onion or mushroom on the other side, and then you close it and it just kind of mixes the stuff into the egg. And omelet, the thing about making the omelet is your ingredients are raw because you're cooking the egg on both sides. So whatever you're going to put into the omelet, if you want to cook it, you got to cook it in something else beforehand, which is kind of a pain. So when you make an omelet, you could use stuff like cheese or ham or stuff that's already cooked and put that in the omelet and then close it and make an actual omelet. But what I like doing is just cooking, like I made mushroom and onion and some steak.
You got to caramelize those onions first, though.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I will cook on one side of the pan to make because it's sectioned into two sides that fold over into each other. So on one side, I'll put some butter and cook the onion and the mushroom and the steak or whatever. And on the other side, I got the egg that's slowly firming up. And then I'll close it over to make like a frittata. And so that's mainly what I've been eating because I don't really like raw ingredients inside of omelets, and I don't want to break out another pan just to cook the ingredients.
Yeah, about the most you can do for the omelet is just melt the cheese.
Yeah, cheese, or I cube some ham. I have it a spiral ham, and that's already cooked anyway, so I put that in there, and that was okay too. But also another good thing, but one thing I did do that was pretty good was I cooked bacon on both sides of the omelet pan. I took the bacon out and then put the egg in there so it wouldn't stick because it's got the bacon grease, and the bacon was already cooked, so I use the bacon grease instead of the butter to
Now,
make
I
sure it
really
wouldn't
like
stick.
the fact that you're nowhere near as enthused about this pan this time as you were last time.
Well, we've come to know each other, and first in a relationship, you have all this new things you're experimenting with, all this lust and things. Then gradually you kind of get used to each other, and that's how it's gone with the omelet pan and me. So now that we kind of know each other, we're more comfortable with each other, and I can make my frittatas, and now it's just like a natural breakfast for me. So I really enjoy it, but one drawback to it is I noticed a spot of rust on the bottom of it the other day. Like this was supposed to be a non-rusting. Like I wiped it wiped off, but I'm like, how in the heck is this non-stick, non-rust pan all of a sudden have a spot of rust on it? So I did not like that. So my $10 omelet pan, maybe too good to be true. We'll see later on if it starts rusting real bad or something. But for now, I just wiped it off and it was okay. It didn't rust on the inside, just on the bottom side. Maybe the fire had something to do with burning off the finish in the bottom or whatever. I don't know. But so far, it gets a thumbs up especially for the price. $10 can't be beat. I recommend it. So next time you're in Big Lots and you see an omelet pan, pick it up. That's the
There you
omelet
go.
pan. Mm-hmm.
I'll just
All right.
continue to fold my omelets.
No, not me. This is the 21st century, buddy. We don't just fold omelets here. We put them in special pans and flip them.
Special rusty pans.
Yeah, special rusty pans with lots of butter and bacon grease. You want to talk about the movie?
Sure.
Oh, was there a movie? It's like super late.
Virtuosity.
This is like one of my favorite movies.
It was a very cool movie, I thought. I even said in The Matrix that it's very corny, but it's corny in a fun 90s, enjoyable, entertaining way, and I liked it.
If you just want some silly action and some tech stuff kind of thrown in, it is a really good movie.
And
Yep.
Denzel Washington doesn't give a damn what kind of movie he's in. He always goes all out,
And he's got that shotgun almost every movie.
Yeah, he never just mails it in, and that includes this movie. He went full out Denzel, and that was cool to see because I like him a lot.
And he looked so young.
He was.
Well, yeah, he was young, but
How'd you like those dreadlocks?
Yeah,
it was interesting.
Denzel with dreadlocks.
Oh,
I don't think I've seen that before.
You can really tell the time frame that this movie came from just from, watching like the first 15 minutes where he actually has to explain parenthesis.
Yeah.
A happy face. Also, the background on the screen was that classic early 90s CGI of the checkerboard, so it looks like it has perspective, the ceiling and the floor, and then those columns, I see that on a lot of like what is that, like synthwave videos and stuff. They'll have the early 90s CGI graphics, 3D graphics, and they had that in there too. The premise is, I can go over.
You want to give the recap?
Recap. Just a quick recap. So there is a special LETAC is the name of this organization that trains policemen in a virtual reality simulation, so that, quote unquote, supposedly nobody can get hurt, and they can respond to terrorists or bad guys, criminals, and stuff like that. And the simulation is the beginning of the movie. So they're in the simulation. You don't really know what's going on. You just see like people being, copies of people are repeated, and things that look weird, and people phase in and out and stuff, or people not paying attention to what's actually happening.
Graphical glitches.
Right? Yeah, stuff like that. And so starts out with Denzel, and he's got a partner in it, and they're dressed in the weirdest police uniforms I think I've ever seen, which is like latex bodysuit, BDSM, with these weird YMCA village people hats on and these gold stars all over them. And I was like, okay, that's cool, I guess. and they're trying to track down a criminal within the simulation, and they go through, the streets, and they end up in a Japanese restaurant based on an emoji that's at the on the sign, the main sign of the restaurant, and it is a semicolon and a parenthesis. So it's the sideways or colon and a parenthesis, the sideways smiley face, which now we have actual emojis, and we don't have to do that anymore. But this was 95. Is that right? 95.
Emoticons.
Emoticons, yep.
Yep,
So
95.
that's how they figure out he's in there, and go in there, and the villain is explained later on in the movie that he's a mix of all these different serial killers and the baddest of the bad, and have their personalities has been put into his programming. So he's the ultimate criminal. So they go in there, and there's a shootout kind of ensues. I'm just going to go over this pretty quickly. A shootout kind of ensues, and his partner gets captured by the criminal, Denzel Washington's partner, and he can't find him, but he finds the criminal, and it's Russell Crowe plays the simulated criminal in this, and it gets to where they're kind of a match for each other, and it turns out his partner is in like Russell Crowe put his partner in like a ice chest or something. He says he's chilling, or he's on ice or something like that, wherever they store the fish in the sushi restaurant.
He electrocuted him, but he was in the freezer.
Yeah, and he had like sparks all over him. And so they're facing off against each other, and Denzel gets hit, and this is when you really know it's a simulation, because it's like a bright red, kind of like a splatter, like a pixelated splatter in his arm, and Russell Crowe. Does Russell Crowe get hit too? I think he shoots him as well.
Yeah. The whole thing is that Denzel did that whole spin around, and Sid had the hostage, and Denzel shot the hostage so that he could shoot Sid.
Yeah, right. And so, and then it gets to where they're face to face, and Sid, which is name of the criminal, starts choking Denzel, and they something happens within the program, and their bodies on the outside of the simulation start convulsing and going crazy and stuff, and they end the simulation, and it turns out his partner, they're actually convicts, so they're being used as guinea pigs for this new VR program that's supposed to be used to train police officers. So they're being used as guinea pigs, and they're actually prisoners. And his partner, who is a prisoner, dies for real outside of the simulation. And then Denzel is like, he's pretty shaken up, but he didn't die. But supposedly he's the only one that so far that has been able to kind of come match wits with Sid within the simulation. So people kind of going crazy, say, nobody was supposed to die, and there's a criminologist in this hot blonde. I forgot what her name, can't remember her name anyway. And she said, how could this happen? This wasn't supposed to happen. And I'm not really sure what happens after that. I know that they put him back. He's supposed to go.
Right. He's
Denzel's supposed to go back in isolation because, he's a former police officer who's been kept in isolation. But this time, they put him into general population. He says, you opened the wrong door. And he said, nope. And so when he goes into general population, there is a guy standing there that has a white power tattoo on his hand. And he's ready to beat the hell out of he has a shiv. He's ready to beat the hell out of Denzel, and they get into a fight, and then Denzel ends up winning. And after that, there's a scene where one of the programmers is watching if you remember the last show, Cyberjack, or was it Cybertrack, or Cyberjack. Anyway, there's a scene in that where there's a hologram that this guy is watching of a belly dancer. Well, in this movie, it's not really a hologram, but it's on the screen of the
Cyber
simulation. There's a woman that's she's made to be I don't know why she's built into the simulation, but she's kind of like a VR sexy woman who will interact with you. And so one of the programmers is watching it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, he's got his hand in his pocket. Looks like he's playing pocket pool or something." And then another programmer, I guess maybe he's in charge of the project, comes up behind him and says, "We could put her into a real body. How would you like that?" And he's like, "Yeah, that sounds like a great idea." So what this programmer actually wants to do is take Sid's personality and put it into a real body.
You have to add
Because
a little bit right there, because they're talking about shutting down the program because the guy died.
right.
And the only way to stop them from doing that is supposedly to put Sid into a real body.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. There's some kind of
That's not going to stop him from shutting it down. It's just his kind of revenge.
yeah. So he wants to get out of the simulation, and he earlier he makes a plan. Well, they don't really tell you exactly what they're talking about, but they're like whispering to each other, Sid and the main programmer. So the main programmer tells the other programmer, "Why don't we put this? Wouldn't you like to put that woman in a real body?" So he takes out the woman's program and takes this crystal out of it that supposedly holds all the memory and the personality of the person, and puts in Sid's crystal in the woman's cartridge, so it looks like he has the woman's program. And they go to the lab, and they're working on a different project in the lab of this nanotechnology, where they have these tiny nanomachines that can make up anything really. He pulls a snake out of some kind of cage and holds it up. The horny programmer does, and he takes a knife or some scissors and cuts the tail off, and all this blue gunk starts coming out. And he said, "Put on these goggles." So he gives the main programmer the goggles, these VR goggles, so he can see what's going on. And the snake's tail is attracted to glass, because it turns out these nanomachines are made of silicon, and they need silicon from the glass to regenerate and make whatever kind of bodies they're going to make. So the snake regenerates its tail from the glass. It takes a big chunk out of the glass, and it's made whole again. So that you get a look of how these organisms are made or put together by these little micro machines. So the bad programmer gets the cartridge with Sid in it and puts it in a machine, and now they're going to make a nanomachine version of what the other programmer thinks is going to be the hot girl, but is actually going to be Sid. So this is how Sid comes to life in the real world. He is made out of these nanomachines that are assembled after like 12 hours or so. Which it says 12 hours, but they're just sitting at a table the whole time, and like no time has passed whenever Sid is finally born, which is kind of weird. But he comes out of this giant, looks like alien-like egg, and he is a naked Russell Crowe, and he's Sid in real life now. And of course, the first thing he does is kill that programmer and gets loose into the city. And so the next scene, they've got Denzel Washington in a police interrogation room, and they're telling him, we'll sign you a full pardon. You'll be released if you are able to capture Sid. And so that's how kind of the movie starts out, is he can leave I'll get to that. He can leave the prison and be a free man as long as he captures Sid. And he says, "Well, what's to keep me from just walking away?" And they said, "Well, we're going to put an implant into your head, and it's kind of a GPS deal, and we can know wherever you're going to be at any time." So that's what they do. They put this implant into his brain
for the rest of your
basically.
life.
Yeah, for the rest of his life. It's kind of like, instead of going into his nose like in Total Recall with Arnold, they put it like in the right under his ear, and injects this long tube, and it looks like it goes into his brain and puts it, so there's no way it can be taken out. And so now he's on the hunt for Sid, and he teams up with the criminologist woman, and they go looking for Sid, and it kind of kicks off from there. I'm not going to say much else, because that's just where that's where we get the main bulk of the story. Now, from what happens from there, you can either watch it or you can listen to us talk about it now. So there's going to be spoilers. I recommend, if you haven't seen it, to watch it and just fast forward through this part because it's really cool. I thought it was a really cool movie. What did you guys think about Virtuosity?
Oh, I loved it.
Have you seen it before? I'd never seen it.
Oh yeah, many times.
Really?
I saw it in
Oh, yeah,
theaters
you
when
saw
it came out.
You did?
90. When did it come out? 95.
Yeah,
I may have as well.
Yeah, I was too young to have
The-
seen it in theaters, living in the middle of nowhere, Iowa. It probably didn't even make it into the theaters in Emmitsburg, so I did, watch it a lot.
Now, what
When I
was
was
y'all's
younger.
reaction when you first saw it? Were you just like blown away by the crazy graphics and stuff like that? Because it's got some cool, especially when Russell Crowe's character Sid regenerates himself, like these cool like blue tendrils that come out and absorb glass so that he can like repair his cut off hand and stuff like that. And I thought that was
all
a really
the bullet
cool effect.
holes. And...
Yeah, whenever he gets shot. He's in a police car at one time, and they shoot the window, or I forgot what his name is in the movie, but Denzel's character shoots the window, and he just grabs handfuls of glass and starts eating it to regenerate himself.
that jump scare towards the end when he fell through that glass ceiling and,
when he
and
grabs
landed on the table. Yeah, because he started regenerating because he had all this glass poking through his body.
And you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because he's surrounded by glass. And as far as like the technology part of it, what did you think about it?
I thought it was really cool. I mean, yes, the VR was really good, especially for that time frame.
Yeah, I did like how they represented the VR, which I guess the way they make it is like it's like a brain interface VR, so you seem like you're really there instead of just looking at goggles or whatever.
Yeah, there was the brain interface, but then they also had like the full you're connected rig and you're actually running.
Yeah, because they were moving around in the VR suits that were suspended from the ground too, and that was kind of cool. But I don't know if that's how VR will eventually work. I kind of doubt it. But,
well, you have you don't have the brain interface, of course, but you have similar setups now where you can like stand in the middle of this thing that allows you to, a treadmill essentially, an omnidirectional treadmill.
Mm-hmm.
They're extremely expensive, but you can get them. So,
no, I've heard about like, on the internet scientists say that the only other molecule for life or element for life instead of carbon could be silicon because of its structure and stuff. And so if we ever find aliens on another planet and they're not based on organic, they'd be silicon based. So I wonder if that's why they went with the whole silicon base for the nanomachines and the...
Oh, they went with that because chips are made out of silicone.
Yeah, probably so. And plus glass is easy to come across, so if you need to regenerate yourself. Well, I thought Russell Crowe did a great job of playing the bad guy too.
Yeah, playing a complete psycho, he did it really well.
Yeah. It's not a role I'm used to seeing him as, a really bad guy like that, and I thought he did a good job.
Yeah, I don't remember what Denzel's first name was in it, but I just remember the Sid 6.7 yelling Parker every 5 minutes.
Yeah, Parker, yeah.
That great scene in the yeah, no, the fight scene. Well, not the fight scene. The where they're at that like a mixed martial arts fight. And all
I wanted to bring that up too.
Pow!
That was UFC, and I think that was UFC before like Dana White and the Fertittas and all them bought it. I think it said UFC 5 maybe on there, and I recognized Frank Shamrock, who was one of the original UFC fighters, was one of the fighters too. So I think this was before the whole UFC mainstream deal. So yeah, it was looked at as like a blood sport, and of course they made the crowd. What were they saying? Kapow, kapow, kapow. And that was and also at one time it looked like they had more than 2 fighters in the ring, like 4 or 6 at one time. Like they were all just fighting each other at once, which I'd never seen before.
And everybody just stayed away from Sid because he was waving around that stump.
Yeah. He's like a total weirdo, you know. And yeah, he takes so he takes over the is that the Olympic Arena or something like that they call it?
Something like that.
It's in L.A. The movie takes place in L.A. But he takes it over and takes over the TV feed and all that stuff and the phone lines I forgot what he calls it, Death TV or something like that.
Oh, after the UFC stuff, yeah, his next thing is taking over a studio, which is broadcasting to the world because he needs a bigger and bigger audience.
And one key thing we didn't mention is that one of his personalities is actually a terrorist that Parker put away or killed in the first place, which is what led to Parker being in prison because he was so freaked out because his family was killed by this terrorist and he ended up killing the terrorist, and there was a news crew, I think, that snuck up behind him and he turned around real quick and shot them too. So that's what got him in prison in the first place.
And that's when he lost his arm and got it replaced with a metal thing.
Yeah, some kind of cybernetic deal. And so the main personality in the movie of Russell Crowe is this terrorist guy that knows Parker personally, and so Grimes, is that his name? And so like he even lets Parker out of a paddy wagon at one time because he enjoys the chase so much. He said it's not fun without the interaction.
And that's when you find out that thing that they injected in the back of Denzel's skull, Parker's skull, can be used to, kill him anywhere in the world at any time.
Yeah. When Sid lets him out, he explains to him that has a neurotoxin in it that can be, like you said, just set off at any time and instantly kill him.
And so his former partner, the police officer former partner, goes and destroys the signal equipment that they use to set off that poison pill.
Right. And the criminologist that's kind of his partner now that he's working with to catch Sid, she knew about it the whole time, and he's kind of betrayed by her because she never told him what was going on. Her daughter eventually gets held hostage by Sid to make them compliant and do whatever Sid says. But
Parker's redemption is that he gets to save her in the way that he didn't get to save his family because she's hooked up to similar explosives.
And there's an interesting twist towards the end too of how they find the daughter, because what happens?
The whole scene that we were talking about with falling to the glass.
Parker
ends up pulling out the module that allows Sid to regenerate, and so he's back to just being a little
personality.
cube.
Yeah. And so they need to find the daughter, and he pulls out he pulls it out, but then he realizes they haven't found her yet, and there's a bomb about to go off, and I think he actually sees it in his mind explode or something. But you don't really know that. All of a sudden, you see Parker die, or
right? They start repeating a scene from earlier.
Yeah.
Up on top of this tower, and then Sid throws Parker off the roof instead of Parker throwing Sid through the skylight.
And so Parker hits the concrete, and he's bleeding everywhere. And so now you're kind of thinking, huh. Well, that was weird, and but this is really a ruse. They're actually in VR now, so they took Sid's personality, put it back into VR, and so that they're able to find where Sid hid the girl at before the bomb goes off, and they tricked Sid into giving away the girl's location, and then they tell then he knows that it's. How does he find out that it's a simulation? Because Parker comes back from the dead, right?
I'm back in the box.
Yeah. He figures out that he's back in the box.
And the other programmer kills the cop partner, and then tries to take out the psychologist, and she takes him out instead. And while this is going on, Sid's kind of torturing Parker, and yeah.
But I think if you haven't, even if we spoiled it for you, you should still watch it. It's a very cool snapshot of mid-90s, like CGI what we thought technology would be like I forgot what year this 1999 or what year is it
5.
supposed to be? No, what year is it supposed to be?
I don't know. It's 20 something.
Oh, is it?
2030 or something.
Okay. I thought I saw 1999. I guess not. Maybe it was another movie I was watching. But yeah, so it's a neat snapshot of, especially if you like those early 3D graphics, like they show in the demo, the VR demo, and then the whole kind of, it's almost a Terminator 2-esque way of the way he regenerates too. Of like, instead of liquid metal, he's like these liquid blue fibers come out
Glass.
of him, yeah, to absorb glass, since he's made out of silicon. And it kind of brings up like what happened to the whole nanomachine hysteria from maybe like 5 or 10 years ago, that now it's
More
moved
than
to
that,
AI.
it was more than 10 years ago,
Was it?
because you also had Stargate SG-1 had the nanobots,
Yeah, I remember
the nanites.
the whole nanomachine deal. The nanobot deal was like told that there was a big hysteria in like pop news and stuff like that about what happens if these take over the world. But now that AI has kind of taken center stage, people seem to have
Well,
forgotten
you need
about the
AI
nanomachines.
before nanites become an issue. So
Mm-hmm. I think we've forgotten
you gotta
about the
babysit
dangerous nanomachines.
Has anybody made a nanomachine? A successful nanomachine?
I don't know.
there are some small ones, like really, really tiny, but they don't do a whole lot.
Like, is that still even being talked about?
Not yet. Give it another 100 years or so.
Right.
But yeah,
I give it a thumbs up.
you know, even
Me too.
even as absolutely a thumbs up. Even as a spoiled movie, ask Honky, you could watch this movie 100 times and it'd still be worth it to watch it 101.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I can see me picking out different things that I missed the first time for sure. Especially some of the VR details and things like that. And did you see it, Lovecraft?
I did. Actually, I had never seen it before, but I was, aware of what it was about. But no, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and a couple of good actors, and good stuff.
Yeah, I enjoyed it too. I'm glad we watched it. Now,
You know what we need to watch now, since we watched Virtuosity. Like, the next thing you have to watch is Johnny Mnemonic. Yeah,
That was good. I saw that in the theater. Actually, it might have been the opening weekend. That was a good one.
Dude, there's the problem. We already saw it.
well, I have a suggestion
No.
for the next movie, if you want to see it. I haven't really suggested anything, but this one I've been wanting to see for a while, mainly because it has Christopher Walken in it, and it looks interesting, and I've never seen it. It's called Brainstorm. Has any of you guys seen it?
sounds vaguely familiar.
I don't think so.
Like, maybe I read the write-up on
Is
it.
it an older movie? Natalie Wood?
Yeah, Natalie Wood, and
It's good.
Is it? It looks cool.
I enjoyed it. Yep.
The 1983 film or the 2000 film?
Well, it was made in the 80s, so it's got to
Oh,
be
1983. Okay.
yeah, 1983. Brainstorm, all one word. Researchers develop a system where they can jump into people's minds, but when people involved bring no personal problems into the equation, it becomes dangerous and deadly. Brilliant researchers Lillian Reynolds and Michael Brace develop a system of recording and playing back actual experiences of people by tapping into their higher brain functions and jumping into people's heads, play back recordings of what they were seeing and feeling and thinking at the time of the recording. It looks interesting. I've never seen it. I've always wanted to see it, but I just thought I'd throw that out there as a suggestion. But
Sure.
it's up to you guys.
I'm fine with that. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I watched this, but I think I watched this in like the late 80s, early 90s, so I definitely don't remember it.
And I like Christopher Walken.
I don't know if I have it. Let me check. Yeah. I have it.
You do?
I do.
Oh, how about that? So is that a consensus? The next movie will be Brainstorm?
Sure.
I think so.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'll put it up in the Matrix chat.
We were talking about TV shows and nobody mentioned Farscape or Lex.
We've talked about them both
That's true, we
in the
have.
past.
But
Lots
we
of
were
times.
talking about a lot of TV shows today.
Yep, Farscape is one of my favorites.
It's awesome. Still
Me
great.
too.
Oh, and Megas XLR. Everybody should watch Megas XLR.
Oh, I know what I was. What is this show? Titan? Something on Titan? That anime?
Attack on Titan.
Attack on Titan. So on Tubi, there's a movie called Attack on Titan, a live action movie, and I thought, oh, I heard the anime was good. This would be cool to see the live action. And what it is
Is it on par with Robotrix?
no, it has nothing to do with the cartoon at all. It's somebody just stole the name and made a 2022 movie called Attack on Titan. It says as water dwindles on Earth, a mission goes to Saturn's moon Titan to retrieve water reserves, but the Titan rebels are not happy to see the Earthlings. So they just straight up stole the the title and made their own movie. It's got to be like those Asylum guys or somebody like that. I was like, I don't want to watch that.
Like Universal Soldiers.
Yeah, like Universal Soldiers. But anyway.
Which was high quality.
Oh, let's hit the brakes there.
Second best movie ever.
Next to what?
The movie I was told I wasn't allowed to mention anymore.
It's not even a real movie, to be honest. No matter what you say.
Some high quality cinematography right there.
Okay. Do you want to just sit here and tell lies the whole time, or are we gonna?
Hey, the more people I can convince to watch it, the better.
Welcome to Joe's Lies, the new side podcast of the Linux Lugcast.
And definitely, you need to watch the second one. Well, I guess I wasn't told that I couldn't mention the sequel.
I'm telling you now.
Birdemic 2, shock and awe.
I'm telling you now.
Oh no, it's Birdemic 2, The Resurrection. The first one was Shock and Terror.
Mm-hmm.
So has anybody been working on any projects?
I started working with this audio program called Reaper. And they have versions for Linux, for Windows, and for Mac OS. I wanted to make some new songs, and it's a really cool application. I watched some videos on it and messed around. You can use it as a regular, like, multi-track recorder or mixer, but it also has like digital instruments within it, like sequencers and drum machines and stuff like that. So you could do everything with it. Now it's not free. I mean, it is and it's not. You get a 60-day demo, but it just pops up with a message saying, "Will you please pay for this after 60 days?" You can still keep using it if you want. So it's free and not free at the same time, but it's not bad for what it can do. It's only $60, which I think is fair, and I'll probably end up buying it just to support Linux software like that. Even though there's Ardour and things like that out there, this is very lightweight. It's only 15 megabytes, I think, the whole application, but it can do so much, and it's very clean, and it's the way they do things within the application itself is very easy to figure out on your own without watching a bunch, looking at a bunch of documentation. But I like that a lot. It's called Reaper. So if you're into audio or you want to learn audio, multi-track audio, I recommend Reaper. Check it out on YouTube, and see if it kind of appeals to you. What about you guys? That's about all I've been doing. I got this heart thing. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about that heart thing I got. So a couple of months ago, I hate to make the Minnix show, but so I started getting this weird heartbeat. But I just figured since it's kind of tech related, and it's like I don't know if you guys have ever have had this. It's like feels like your heart stops and then it starts again, but like starts with a real strong beat. But that was happening like multiple times a day, and then it got to where it happening like hundreds of times a day, and I was starting to get worried about it, like not a flutter, but like a stop and a real strong start. And so I made an appointment with my doctor, and she gave me an EKG, and she said the EKG is abnormal, so let me get you in to see a cardiologist. But I haven't had any symptoms, like I haven't felt lightheaded or anything like that. It's just been this very annoying weird heartbeat thing going on. And so, but my cardiologist appointment wasn't until a month away, and I was like, oh man, I gotta wait a month to figure out what this is gonna do. So I bought this device from this company called WellU. This is it. It's called a ECG recorder, and all it is a I'll open it up here. It's a Bluetooth device that looks like this. So it's a little flexible kind of device. It has these leads on it right here that you can recharge and download the information. And what you do is, for the people that can't see this, it's just a blue plastic device. You have these kind of stick-on. You've probably seen them before. Like if you've never had them on you, you've probably seen people with them on. It's little stick-on leads that have buttons on them. So it's got buttons on here, and it just pops in there. So you got two of these little stick-on leads that stick on you like that, and then it peels off, and then it's got these little silicone kind of things that it attaches to you on an angle like this, so right above your heart, and then kind of at a 45-degree angle like that, and it records your heartbeat in your ECG for 24 hours, and then you take it off and you connect it to your computer, and here's the shitty part. They don't have a Linux application for this. So I had to, what I did was I found another computer that I put Windows 10 on, which I'll go into this whole other Windows 11 rant because it is fucking ridiculous. It is absolute garbage, trash. the shittiest software. It upset me very much. But anyway, I had to put Windows 11 on this other like piece of crap computer laptop I got just to use this thing. So it downloads the all the data, and then it does an AI analysis on it, and it you have like 50 megabytes of just thousands of pages of your EKG that was recorded, analyzes that, and then it tells you what these beats mean. And in my case, it was called PVC, premature ventricular contraction, which means that it's an electrical signal problem, that your heartbeats usually start from what's called the sinus node, your electrical signal, but mine was starting from the ventricle at the bottom every once in a while, and so it would have to reset itself. So that was the pause and then the strong beat that I would feel. Go ahead.
The way to fix it is to have somebody get out the paddles and hit you with 10,000 volts.
Well, I don't know how to fix it yet. I still haven't got to that point, but at least I found out what it is.
I volunteer.
Oh, you can. We'll see what happens. Get those things near me. But so I was able to record it. I downloaded it. It said it had like I recorded a few days, and it said between 800 to 900 of these ectopic beats is what they call them, these abnormal beats each day. I mean, I was feeling every one of them, and it's like I'm still feeling them, and it sucks. But what I read up on PVCs after it gave me the diagnosis is that they're not harmful, but usually people don't feel them. But in my case, I feel them, so it kind of stresses me out. It annoys me. And also, it says that if you have too many of them, you can have cardiomyopathy, which means that it starts to damage your heart. But it says too many is like 10,000 to 20,000 a day, which I don't have near that many. So luckily, I was able to find out before my cardiologist appointment kind of at least what it was. So then I go to the cardiologist. He puts me on an EKG machine for like 10 seconds, and he says, okay, your heartbeat is abnormal. That's all he said. I was like, abnormal how? You know, am I going to live? I'm going to die? And he says, well, it's just abnormal. It looks like it could be, this is the way your heartbeat actually looks just normally, and it's different from other people, or it could be some kind of block. And what he means by block is not like a block edge, like you need a bypass, but like an electrical block somewhere in my heart. So he puts a very similar device I'm wearing right now on me, and I got to wear it for 7 days. I can shower with it and stuff, but on this one, after 7 days, I throw it in the trash. And they gave me this phone. I thought this was interesting, that I have to carry around all the time, and it interfaces with the device. And it's just an Android phone that only has one application on it, and you open it up, and it says Vital Patch Biosensor. And what you do is it tells you like if it's connected or not. It tells me how many more hours I have to. I'm showing this on the video if you guys want to watch it on the video stream. And you hit submit if you feel a symptom. So I'll hit submit, and then it asks you like it's real bright, so it's hard to see. It'll say like what kind of symptom do you get? So mine would be heart skipping beats. So I click on heart skipping beats, and I hit next. And it says, what were you doing when you felt the symptom? And it says low, sitting or resting, medium, standing or moving, high, exercising. And since I'm just sitting, put low and then hit submit. It says your symptom has been submitted, and you hit OK. If you experience a medical emergency, call 911. I haven't had any, but so this goes to the doctor, and they monitor the whole time. So if something really crazy happens, they're supposed to contact me and say, hey, you need to go to the ER or something. So I don't really have anything to worry about now because I'm like connected to the medical brain in the cloud, wherever that is. So I got to wear this for a few more days. I think Wednesday I got to get it taken off, and then we'll see. But then I have to do a stress test to get on the treadmill, and then they do a sonogram of my heart, make sure everything's structurally sound, and then that's not till June 30th, so I gotta wait till then. But hopefully, with just this information, they can tell me, you know. I mean, if it's bad, it's bad. If it's good, it's good. I can't know the future, you know, so I'm not wasting any energy worrying about it. But it's just nice to know sometimes. So that's been a big, major distraction for me. the past couple of weeks, or the past couple of months, actually. So haven't done too many projects. Yeah. So anyway, that's my projects.
No, I've been doing I did the audio editing for the most recent show of the Mintcast. That's been fun, using Audacity. But we're still looking for an audio editor, maybe a couple more hosts if one of you guys wants to join or something. Other than that, I've been doing a lot of 3D printing. Ended up with some multicolor filament. So
that's cool looking.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool looking.
So, and doing campaign stuff for another candidate, not myself. And some of it's gotten a little bit dirty, but what can you do? Yeah. Well, people putting out like fake mailers and fake like text messages saying so and so was endorsed by so and so, and just causing problems that way. Because basically, if you're endorsed by the Democrats, you can't get elected as a dog catcher around here.
Yeah, the suburb, Dallas is fairly blue, but the suburbs are fairly red, I think.
Yeah, something like that. So yeah, it's been fun doing that, and then work has just been absolutely nuts because, like I said, one of my coworkers that handles like releases was out, so I was doing his job and my job, and like especially today, it was just all day releases or MIs that were caused by releases. So yeah. It's been a fun week.
So is your little mini computer, is it charging correctly now?
Yeah. I'm using a full-on like laptop charger for it, like a Dell charger, 65 watt, and it hasn't caused any more problems, or hasn't had any more problems. But my my Pine charger, whatever, Pine Power. Yeah, the USB-C is not acting correctly, so I'm gonna have to either replace it or get something else. I mean, all the other ones work just fine. It's just the USB-C and like the 15 volts that's not working, and some of the detection stuff is a little bit messed up. So I've basically been leaving that USB-C alone, and I'll figure out if I want to buy a different one later. Or take that one apart and see if I can't find whatever chip is blown in it. I mean, I can't complain too much. I've had it for a long time.
Minnix, my brother had a similar heart situation, and he can also detect when things are going weird.
Yeah, from what I've read, like most people cannot feel that, but I guess me and your brother are just unlucky in that way. It is stressful.
Well, the nice thing now is he's a long haul truck driver, and his wife can't drive the truck, but at least he has another person there. If something goes south, he's not doing solo.
But she drives with him. She just doesn't drive the truck, right?
Yeah, they basically live in the truck.
Well, it's good to have a partner there with you.
By the way, it goes without saying, I hope everything works out for you.
Yeah, I think it. I
figure you're younger. One of the things about it is that you may have caught it earlier than my brother did when he had to go through the emergency thing. He's in his 60s now.
Oh, okay.
Look, they have defibrillators at my office. Swing on by. We'll take care of it.
I don't even know what it is yet. But I'm kind of
This'll fix it.
consoled by the fact that, well, I wanted to tell the story on the air just in case anybody else has ever gone through anything like this, to know that, you know, from what I've read, it's fairly benign if that's what the problem is, a PVC, if, you know, it's just unfortunate that I can feel it, you know, but I won't really know much, you know, as far as structural goes until the end of June, so it's a long time to wait. But I figured if it was really serious, they wouldn't have just sent me home with the monitor. You know, they probably would have done something. So
Yeah, I guess the only other things that I have been up to is I've been playing Super Mario Brothers 3.
that's
and
fun.
some Tetris.
Yeah, that's mostly what I've been doing, is just playing on the Steam Deck.
Any games that you can recommend?
Let's see. I bought the Halo. What is it? The one the collection that has Breach all the way up to Halo 4, and Halo Wars, which is the strategy game version. I played Halo Wars for like a minute. I played like the introduction to that, and that was fun. Let's see. Mortal Shell was good.
Mortal
Blood Bowl.
Shell.
Mortal Shell. It is hack and slash, I guess. Yeah, Steam sales are deadly.
To your pocketbook, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. But I can, after using the Steam Deck for a while, we brought something up a while ago about people wanting to create something like a Steam backend type of a deal on like a home server that's going to work like Steam, just to back up all their games. Now I can kind of see how that would be advantageous, because if something happens with Steam, then you really don't have these games anymore. They're all of a sudden gone. But if I can download them and then back them up to another place, and then, you know, even if I can just sync things up on my own, even like purchase them on Steam, download them, and then back them up to my own service that I can sync up with, that would probably be a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But that would be on also how well. I mean, Steam works so. Okay, Steam on the Steam Deck works very well.
Well, Steam works well on computers too. I mean,
yeah, it's come a long way.
Yeah,
Well,
and you can download your like Steam library and have it on a hard drive, and then point another hard drive or point another instance of Steam to it. So
yeah,
see
we
what I'm saying?
covered that self-hosted Steam alternative. I can't remember what it was called, but it looked interesting. But you just badmouthed it the whole time. And I was like, well, that's kind of cool. And you told me to shut my mouth. It was a piece of shit. And I was like, all right, well, we'll talk about it then.
Yeah, again, I didn't see the advantages of that, but now I can kind of see the advantages of that. But yeah, mostly just playing games.
Netminer, you been doing anything?
Not a heck of a lot, actually. One thing I'm going to be trying out this weekend is a new window fan. I got a big single fan instead of. I'm going to be hoping to replace the paired up twin fans that I've been using. So hopefully this one fan will be more efficient than running 4 fan motors.
Now, is it the kind that comes with is it an actual window fan that comes with like the frame on the outside?
Yeah, This is a 16-inch fan. Which cost me $140, and there's a 20-inch that's $190, and I want to see if this one will fit my windows, and then I'll decide whether I need to buy the bigger one or not. But again, either of them is going to be replacing 2 ordinary window fans.
I'm a big fan of fans. As far as saving energy versus AC, you know.
Well, I have no AC, so
yeah.
If it gets hot this summer, I'm going to be using either those fans, or I have a couple of big box fans that I may use for daytime cooling when I can't run the window fans.
Now, are you going to do the thing where you have an inlet and then an exhaust where you pull air through one window and then out a different window?
Generally, that's how I work it. Although I may be working multiple inlet fans, just because of the size of the house and the different trying to get air sweeping through various parts of the house.
Are you in a 2-story?
Yeah, I'm in a 2-story with attic, and I don't know if I'll be able to actually do anything with the second floor for economy reasons. I may just be running the minimal fans on the first floor and letting the upstairs get outrageously hot.
What about the Raspberry Pis and anything with those?
No, I've been pretty quiet. I've been kind of run down lately. Some dehydrated, I guess. So I haven't been doing as much as I should be doing.
You still using MX?
Oh yeah, I'm talking over an MX box. Thanks, Lovecraft. And yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm doing some writing. One thing that I found of interest is the only Amazon blessed browser has turned for their video is Google Chrome. I don't know what happened to the DRM on Firefox or what, but I had to install Google Chrome to watch a video lately of I watched Nobody, which is a pretty good action adventure. Sort of a blue collar.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I like that movie.
Me too.
Yep.
With Bob Odenkirk?
Yep, blue collar John Wick type. and his father is the professor from Back to the Future. So, in a very, I mean, he's not in it as much as the main character, but on a lot of the scenes, he steals. He absolutely.
Yeah, he still helps out, and it's pretty dang cool.
Christopher Lloyd.
Christopher
He's
Lloyd,
really
yeah.
good in it. Yeah, he's funny in it.
Yeah, it gives me hope that I could be nasty even in
That active at that age.
Yeah.
Because Christopher Lloyd is not a young guy.
Wow.
Nope.
Unfortunately, because of being in the Republic of Massachusetts, I have no shotguns.
Yeah, I like that movie. I thought it was good. I like how he was just kind of he wasn't like a beefed up Schwarzenegger, you know, he was just kind of like a normal every guy dude. Even though
an accountant.
He was in good shape, you know, but still, it was kind of funny. Especially in the beginning when he's just like totally being like put upon by other people and his neighbor and all that. You know, just get the whole scene with the trash can and all that. And what was his neighbor say? Man, I would have kicked their ass when those guys break into his house and stuff. Didn't want to give out his secret.
Well, not only that, the fact that the people, if desperate people break into his house, he more or less treats them one way. When bad guys break into his house, he has no shits to give.
Yeah. Then he breaks open the panic room. And that scene on the bus was awesome. That fight scene.
Oh yeah.
That was one of the best scenes of the movie, I thought.
By the way, my brother, we were talking about this today on the bus when he hits his head on the pole.
Mm-hmm.
That was not in the script.
Oh, really?
That was an actual accident that the director left in the movie to make it more realistic.
Hmm.
Also, from my brother, I understand that he didn't go as crazy as Keanu Reeves for John Wick, but he did put in serious time with firearms and other training for this movie.
Yeah, he was definitely in good shape too.
Now, my brother said that they left open the possibility of a sequel, but I haven't heard any kind of rumblings of that.
And neither have I. It ended well enough. I mean, where are they going to go?
Well, they can milk it dry like John Wick.
Right?
Right? They're talking about another John Wick movie.
Jeez.
Was that 4?
They're up to 4 now, aren't they?
Yeah,
Oh, they've already done 4?
The newest one is the 4th one.
Oh.
Still haven't seen it yet, but...
Yeah, well...
I don't really have an interest.
I want to see it, but...
I'll see it eventually.
The, on Amazon, the pre-order is like $20, so it's a little steep for something that I'm going to have to watch it in either SD or HD. Which reminds me, I'm going to have to see if I can watch an HD movie on Amazon just just to see which one I should order next time.
Are you opposed to Plex Netminer?
I don't have Plex on my system yet.
So
You don't
all
need
you have to
Plex
do
on
is
your
You don't need
system.
Plex on your system.
Oh, go
you
ahead.
can
Oh,
go
go
to it from a web browser. I don't know. Joe has a library. I have a library. I can add you with whatever email account you register with Plex. So then instead of connecting to Amazon to watch it, you would connect to my computer to watch it that Lovecraft gave me.
Yeah, I'll have to think about that. Yeah, I really need to think about opening up a second email account so that I can leave all the trash on Gmail.
I actually have a generic Google account that I use for all my media subscription stuff. So my sign on to Tubi and all the free streaming services, and to my Plex and to a couple other things. It keeps it clean and uncluttered, and I almost never have to access them.
Yeah, well, I could use a backup Gmail, I'm sure. I mean, right now, if something happens, I don't have a backup account, and a lot of stuff would be blocked out.
So I'm working on a project. I did get the screens set up and Garuda installed for the multimedia station I'm going to be using to make music and test my fingers in graphic design.
Cool.
So now I'm at OS is installed, cables for the monitors, and now I just need to dive into it. At work, we got a request from some approved at the highest level from some person at one of the factories who knows enough technology to cause issues by circumventing and setting up his own things everywhere. They approved a GitLab server for him and submitted it to me to build a GitLab server with no information about what it's going to be used for, security involved, whether they're purchasing a license key or going to try to use the free version. Nothing, absolutely nothing. So I started working on that and building that out myself, which I've been told previously, no, we can't use. So I'm looking forward to pushing it out as an enterprise level solution. I'm trying to get SAML working and working with the network team to get proper certificates in place at the very beginning. But so far it's looking pretty easy. I'm sure next month at the Southeast Linux Fest, I can ask some of the guys from GitLab because they're usually at the Linux Fests.
I use GitT. I like GitT a lot.
Yeah, that's actually what I installed in my environment at work. Behind the scenes, it hasn't popped up on anybody's radar.
You sneaky
but
devil.
haven't. but well, I literally have a Teams group that's called the Subversive CI/CD research group, deployment group, where I've been trying to get other people involved in automating processes and flows and doing enterprise level improvements to our ma and pop mentality of a Fortune 500 company.
You remind me of a lady I used to talk with who was doing IT for an insurance company. And she had one problem. all of the insurance companies this company was gobbling up were using Mac databases. And that was fine when the companies were small, but when you get to, humongous, trying to get them all together and straightening out all of the entries for the same doctors in different insurance companies, and she was tearing her hair on that stuff, especially since the Mac databases also had capacity limits that you didn't want as a large
database.
Go ahead.
So what's the first thing you're going to try on your new multimedia setup, Mordancy?
Testing out the drawing screen with pens. So I think the last time Fweeb was on the show, he was drawing on a tablet.
Yeah.
So doing that.
That'd be cool.
Well,
I also purchased a laminator. So if there's anything we want printed up, say if we all go to self, print our own self badges that say Linux Lugcast, or anything similar to that.
Print our own press badges.
Studio 23.
Studio 54.
And the next thing I'm looking at is getting a EcoTank printer. Someone I know who prints stuff for me prints a lot, and I'm thinking of purchasing the printer so I can have stuff printed for me whenever I want. But the problem, the EcoTank printers have reservoirs where you put the ink in. They don't have cartridges, but the print heads get messed up if you don't print at least once every 2 weeks.
Can you print
So
textiles or t-shirts and stuff?
It's sublimation ink, so I think you can print them onto transfers and use a heat press, and then do coffee mugs and t-shirts and other things like that. It wouldn't be silk screening, but I'll store it at a friend's house who prints weekly, so I shouldn't have to worry about a service fee for fixing it when I forget to print for 2 months. I almost never print anything, but it would be nice to be able to, on demand, print a bunch of sheets for buttons. I still have my button maker. I think sticker paper and the laminator would be great to make die-cut stickers.
To print custom CPAP masks with Linux Lugcast on there.
There you go.
We'll sell
You could probably sell those. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably use one.
Print them
Me too.
out of TPU on your 3D printer, and then do the sublimated ink to put Linux Lugcast on them. And put this is a genuine medical device. Print that on the side.
And I am still trying to get FX Tech to refund me for those 2 phones. They're not responding. They're leaving me in limbo.
Of course they are.
That's so crappy how they did that.
Right.
Well, I mean, I understand if they're having problems with Hong Kong getting stuff out of Hong Kong. But they've shipped out, I think, half or a third of the Indiegogo, and the Indiegogo was before the pre-orders. I did the pre-order after the Indiegogo, so they're not even through fulfilling the Indiegogos. I'm okay with the delays in shipping them. I'm not okay with the delays in refunding me once I've stated that I want to cancel, because that's been months now.
Or the delays in even responding to you. I mean, they can just write an email and tell you what's going on, you know.
Right.
They're ghosting you.
You have some kind of update, people.
Yeah, they updated a few days ago about 2 weeks ago about sending more of the Indiegogos out. What order number they were on?
3.
600 and something to, I forget what the high number was. We're supposed to be shipping next. But just from the Indiegogo, not from the pre-orders after the Indiegogo.
What a shit show.
Yep.
Yeah, and I've already bought another Motorola phone, so I'm good for a year or two.
Speaking of shit shows, I want to put this little rant out there real quick.
Hey, we're not that bad.
So, like I said, I had this old laptop that I had to put Windows on. I got a license from work. I installed Windows 11 on it. And there's a Windows 10, Windows 11. Can't remember. I think Windows 10 maybe. Who knows? I don't give a shit. Anyway.
Some crappy version of Windows.
So I get to the point where it's, you know, it's installing and stuff, and you connect to your Wi-Fi, and it says connect to your Microsoft account. I don't have a Microsoft account. I don't want a Microsoft account. I don't want to set up a Microsoft account. I don't want anything like that. And I cannot get past this screen. There's just no way I can. I hit back and try to start over again. Can't get past it. Back, try to start over again. Still can't get past it. So it won't install Windows without a freaking Windows account. I'm like, what the hell? So I look online, and the only way to do it, and this is, they've already patched this, but when I did it, I was able to do it. The only way to do it was to, so I had to start over. So I had to reset the computer basically and go back to downloading everything and all that stuff. And when you get to, before you connect to the Wi-Fi, you do a key combination and bring up, what is the Windows terminal? Command line, I guess.
PowerShell.
Yeah, and then you have to enter some kind of command that basically says do it without a password or something like that.
Create a local account only.
Yeah, but you can only do it through the command line. Like, you would never know how to do this without looking it up and having to sneak it by before you connect to Wi-Fi. So I had to do that.
You used to be able to do it without having to go to the command line, just to create the local account.
And now, you used to. Now you can't even. Now this little shortcut I did has been patched out as well, so you can't even do that. So they're looking for ways. So anyway, I had to go through the command line, type, something about no password, local account or whatever, and then connect to my Wi-Fi. And then I have the option on the bottom right when it says set up on Microsoft account or enter your Microsoft account to not at this time, it says, which would be just local account. So I can still create a password, but I don't have to. I don't have to put in a Microsoft account. But the only way I could do it was to go through the command line and put in this freaking obscure line of code, and then close it, and then connect to Wi-Fi, and then go through the rest of the installation. I thought, man, what a piece of shit. straight up junk. This is not a computer anymore. This is a data collection service on hardware, and they have basically a monopoly on this crap. So people think they don't have a choice anyway. There's a lot of software that people need for business, or in-house software that's made for Windows, so they can't use anything else, and so they have to use this freaking basically spyware because they don't have a choice. I thought, man, what? God, I hate Microsoft. Anyway, that's my rant. If you want to, I've never seen that before on any Linux OS I've ever installed, that you have to connect using some kind of online account. I mean, there's options to do that, but it's never been a prerequisite, ever. I don't think it ever will be. Not even with Ubuntu down the line, I don't think it'll be. But, man, how my blood was freaking boiling. And the only reason I needed to do this was to install that stupid software for that freaking heart monitor thing, because they only offer Mac and Windows, so that's the only reason I needed to install Windows for that software. So anyways, there's my rant. Fuck Windows.
Because you basically
I hear
have
you,
this one computer that you basically just hook up your heart monitor to. Turn it on, plug the thing in, get the information, and then shut it down.
Yep, that's it.
Does it upload to the your doctor?
Not to my doctor. This is the one that I bought myself.
Oh, okay.
Because I had to wait so long to see the cardiologist, so I could just see what's going on, So this does. I think it does upload to whoever owns this device, the company WellU or whatever has their own cloud called Viatom, but they have to analyze the EKG to figure out what it's, what it actually means, what's happening on your EKG, and then it takes about 10 minutes, then it spits out a report. You can download the PDF, which I don't care. I mean, I put in no fake info anyway, except for my age, so.
Too bad it doesn't connect to like your Android phone.
Oh, they do have an app for it, yeah, but you can't analyze the EKG. You can record the EKG to your Android phone, but it doesn't do the quote-unquote AI analysis, so you won't know what the EKG actually means once it's recorded. It has to go through this special software called AI EKG whatever cloud thing.
So if it's in the cloud, but shouldn't it be able to kick it back to the cloud and then send it back to the phone as a PDF or whatever?
It doesn't do. Now I can save the PDF from the Windows application and then just put it on a thumb drive or put it wherever I want, which I brought with me to see the cardiologist, and he was like, "Well, I can't look at that anyway. They don't have access to plug-in thumb drives." But luckily, I had uploaded one of the cardiograms to the. They have a patient portal where you can send messages and stuff to a doctor, and
sure,
I had uploaded it to my actual GP, and so that was still on there, and he could look at that. But anyway, it was just having to deal with Windows. Man, I couldn't imagine just having to do that daily. Deal with something like that. Where that's the only reason they want you to have a Microsoft account, is so they can just hoard your data in the cloud. Whatever you do on Windows, they want to have it. And
yeah,
it was
that's where the money is.
I was just dumbfounded how there was absolutely no way to bypass that anymore. And the way I did it is it's already been patched, so you can't even do it that way anymore.
Well, the thing is, too, is you can run it without paying for it too. So it'll just have what the one big downside is you can't change the wallpaper, and it has like a little thing in the bottom right hand corner. So you can use Windows 10.
Yeah, it's
a little
watermark
on it. So you can use Windows 10 without paying for it. And I think that might be part of it too. Is they're if people are using it without paying for it, at least they can sit there and suck all your information.
Yeah, I mean, I could install 20 spywares on my computer without paying for them too, but why would I do that? I can install 100 viruses on my computer without paying for it. But it's just, I mean, that
fun. Oh,
That is the Microsoft business model now. It's not selling operating systems. It's just collecting data.
I thought that was everybody's business plan.
That's true. I mean,
Try to find
Microsoft
every
is
way
definitely
to
not unique in that.
mine information. So that kind of leads to one of our topics here, at least one that I posted recently. Hold on a second.
What
It
do
was
you
the
eat,
one with
Mordancy? What flavor is that?
Outsine,
Flavor is that?
pineapple,
Oh,
frozen popsicle. Made with real fruit, no added sugar.
Those are good. Quite tasty.
So,
what's your link, Honky?
Mozilla, the internet deserves a better answer to social. And it starts going into, this was a Mozilla blog post, and it starts going into how we need to do, that they need to work on, they're going to make their own social thing. But then it's just Mastodon. If you go into it, like, even if you go to joining Mozilla social or join our waitlist, I didn't try and join our latest, but joining Mozilla social, it's just basically a link to show you how to log into Mastodon.
So,
I'm sorry, I pushed a cough.
Last year, we announced dipping our toes into the world of Mastodon. Today, we're expanding Mozilla.social to a private beta. So is that all it is? It's just Mastodon? But they call it Mozilla.social?
See, I'm not sure if it's just built on Mastodon or what, or if they're going to expand upon it, because if you're interested in joining Mozilla Social, that link sends you to a how to join Mastodon. It is, and then it says as we continue to expand and join our wait list, and that's just a sign in for a wait list. But I mean, I'm not sure if what they're trying to build is a Mastodon instance, whether they're trying to build something on top of Mastodon, but
let's see. Join Mozilla.social. Ready to try Mastodon. Here's how to get started. Huh. Well, yeah. When you click join Mozilla.social, it says you're right. Ready to try Mastodon. It says how to choose your Mastodon server. Wouldn't that be Mozilla.social? I guess if you join the wait list, you can fill out the waitlist form.
But it's this giant blog post from Mozilla May 4th about how they're trying to make their own social thing, and how, there's going to be some rules to their new social environment. And at the end, it's basically join Mozilla.social on Mastodon.
So it's just their Mastodon server, basically.
That's about what it looks like. But what's the waitlist for? Is it just they're still making their own Mastodon server? Pretty sure that the guys at Mozilla would be able to start their own Mastodon instance, right?
I think that's all it is.
But aren't you running your own Mastodon instance?
Yeah.
So it's
not hard.
I'm not gonna downplay what you did, but I'm not gonna say that it's that hard. That the guys at Mozilla, the guys who make the web browser, should be able to figure out how to make their own instance.
Now, one thing they may be trying to do is, like, there's several services that you can, like Misskey and some of those others that are built on Mastodon code, but they add new features, like you can has a longer character limit and some multimedia stuff. I wonder if they're doing something like that, where they're building on top of the Mastodon code with their own code or something, since it's open source.
That'd be cool.
Honky, I'm going to give you an award for this. What happens if I click give you an award?
I don't know. Where do you see give you an award?
On the page it says comment, or on the Reddit link it says comment, share, save, hide, give award. And how many? Oh, I don't have any gold. Never mind. I was going to give you the award. I thought I had some coins I could give you. I had to buy
you
coins.
built me up. You built me up just to knock me down.
Yeah, I have 0 coins, and I don't think anything here cost 0 coins. There's one for 30 coins, 20 coins. Sorry, buddy, I can't give you an award.
Sad. Just sad.
Yeah. Oh well. Anyway, I will give you a thumbs up. How's that?
Cool.
That's better than any Reddit award.
Well, isn't that what the little arrows are for?
Oh yeah,
you can upvote things.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, right.
I can upvote your thing. There's your award. Upvote, vote up, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like you're right.
I miss Google Plus. I know it was a Google product, but I miss Google Plus.
Well, basically, it was just
Google Reader
was
the best things they ever did. Cool. It actually worked the way I liked, and it was cool.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to go through some of these others? 8 remote desktop tools for Linux.
Yeah. Let's check them out. Now this isn't just SSH. This is like actual desktop, right?
Yeah,
like
these are more
BNC
desktop ones. Like the first one is Ramina.
I've used that.
Have you?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Actually, I used that when I first installed SteamOS. The old Debian version. To set it up, I used Ramina. I think I wasn't using Fedora. I wasn't using Ubuntu. I don't know. I don't remember. It was some distro, but it actually came with Ramina. Maybe it was Ubuntu, but I used that to connect to the SteamOS box, and it was fun. Have y'all used Ramina? I think it's fairly popular.
I've never used Ramina, but honestly, about the only one I've ever used would be VNC. Like I used a type VNC before.
Yeah,
maybe regular VNC.
Several VNCs, but mostly type VNC.
But I've heard Ramina, and I've heard a lot of people rave about it before. Because it has the ability to do both RDP and VNC. Apparently, it has the ability to do RDP, VNC, Spice, X2Go, SSH, and HTTPS.
Oh, HTTPS, really?
That's what it says.
Pretty cool. GNOME connections. I guess that comes with GNOME, probably, huh?
That's another reason why I want to put this in there, because I've never heard of GNOME connections before.
I haven't either.
Let's see. It says using it uses RDP and VNC. Pros, easy to use and simple, tailored for GNOME, but can work on any desktop environment. Cons, it does not support many protocols. It may not offer all kinds of functionalities for most, and no plugin support.
Now, X2Go is...
I like X2Go.
That's Joe's... that's your choice, right? Usually.
If I can use X2Go, I will.
Now, what do you like about X2Go? I've never used it.
Well, it does give you like a full-on desktop. You can either access your desktop that's already there, using whatever command, or you can install a different lighter weight desktop and just spin off a new one in the background. Either way, you can either control or spin off anew and do everything that you need to, just like you were right there. I mean, it's basically X11 forwarding, except you're forwarding the entire desktop, and it's not slow. The compression is already set and everything. It's already optimized.
No, I didn't know that about using a different kind of desktop from what's already installed in the system.
Yeah, you can. I usually install like Mate or XFCE, and then I'll just spin off a new desktop with that instead of trying to do Cinnamon over the network.
Pretty cool. Have you used that, Honky, X2Go?
No, I haven't used X2Go.
I think Netminer, haven't you used X2Go?
He's muted.
Okay.
Yeah, I've used X2Go briefly, but I haven't. Since I shut down most of my machines, I haven't needed the remote desktop capabilities. One of the things that looks like I'm going to be firing up my Ubuntu machine is that Ubuntu has gone to XFCE 4.18, which is the same thing that I'm running on running right here. But that's the name of that tune. No, I haven't used XFCE seriously.
Morton, see, you were lighting up like you were trying to talk, but we couldn't hear anything.
Maybe he's talking to somebody else.
Maybe, but I thought I saw his him lit up to talk in
Mumble.
Mumble, and I couldn't hear anything. Maybe talking to somebody else now.
I was.
Nope.
I'm using Xgo because Netminer was talking about it, and I chose that to use for the headless mini PC I'm running Nicotine Plus on. So it attaches to my NAS read only. But to get to the device, I'm using X2Go.
Nice.
I think it's a good choice.
Oh, see, there's a KDE one on here. I've never heard of it. KRDC?
Yeah, me either.
It says it's pre-installed, but I don't have it installed on mine.
Are you sure?
Well,
did you?
Maybe it's not under KRDC. Maybe it's under connections or something.
It seems to be like GNOME GNOME connections. It's kind of the same idea where it'll do RDP and VNC. That's really about it. But it's a KDE version.
Let's see. I'm under connections. Maybe it's under settings. Now I can do share my desktop. I don't see anything as far as KRDC. What if I type in VNC? Nope. I guess it's just not installed on Kino White.
Well, and this it says installation. You can find KRDC from KDE's Discover Center or install it using FlatHub or Snap.
Yeah. Well, I don't need it, but I thought it might be on mine. So if I go to what is it called? KRFB.
FB?
Yeah, it's KDE's desktop sharing. Allows you to grant permission to someone at a remote location for viewing and possibly controlling your desktop. So it shows the IP address, it's on port 5900, and then it gives you a password. And I guess you would give that to somebody. Huh. So it's some kind of VNC. Like it's like TeamViewer or something, you know?
Yeah.
TeamViewer.
That's on this list, actually.
Is it?
I believe it's the last one, yeah. Next one is Tiger VNC.
I think that's been around for a long time. I remember.
Yeah, I've used Tiger VNC.
Yeah.
It's a cross-platform, fast performance, cons GUI feels dated, and it does not support multiple protocols. I guess it just does VNC. And then number 6 is TeamViewer. I think we've all probably used TeamViewer before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's also used in so many scams these days.
Yeah. Next is AnyDesk. Has anybody heard of that one?
No.
Does not sound familiar.
AnyDesk is one of the industry-leading remote desktop tools with a nice feature set and secure access. You can use it for free along with mobile support for Android and iOS. You will need to purchase a license to unlock all of its features. Pros: cross-platform support, mobile support. Cons: limited functionality for free, not open source. Installation: you can find binaries for all kinds of Linux distributions on its download page, supporting Ubuntu, OpenSUSE, and RHEL.
Now, why would you use this instead of one of the other ones?
I don't know
what the pluses are.
Mobile support.
Mobile support. Okay, yeah, I can understand that. And cross-platform support. But a lot of these will support RDP, which you should never turn on, by the way, if you're using a Windows system or any system. Hey, here's the. Remember
Miner's favorite?
Yeah, who first brought up this one? Which I actually love it. Apache Guacamole.
Are you using it?
Oh yeah.
You use Guacamole for your Nicotine Plus, aren't you?
Yep. It's just running in a Docker container, and that's what I use to access the desktop and set it up, and it's all over HTTPS. I love it. It's great. I've never used it on a computer that wasn't headless, you know, but I'm sure it's just as good.
Apache Guacamole is a special remote desktop tool for cloud systems or servers. If your server runs an operating system, you can install Apache Guacamole and access it from any other platform via the web browser. Hence, it pitches itself as a clientless remote desktop gateway. Pros: tailored for cloud computing, free and open source. Cons: a specialized tool not fit for everyone. And that is number 8, the last on the list.
You remember, I don't know if it's still around, service called NetTop? You guys remember that one?
It sounds familiar.
It was like, you know, they let you went through their cloud server to get to your own desktop, and they had free accounts, but that was limited to like some kind of options, and but there was NetTop, and there was a bunch of others too that they, I don't know, maybe they all went under or something, but This was a real big thing for a while, is all these services allowing you to access your desktop at home, but you would go through their cloud server to get to your desktop, and they would do the security or whatever, I guess, if you weren't comfortable with that.
Isn't that basically what TeamViewer does?
Yeah.
Desktop kind of killed that for them.
And what was the other one? Komodo? Was that another one?
Did anybody here use Chrome Remote Desktop?
Oh, I forgot
No.
about that. Yeah. I did use that.
That was a good one.
Best.
I tested it. I mean, it went through Chrome, but I thought it worked pretty good.
Yeah, as long as you had Chrome installed on both computers, it worked really good.
Is that still available to use?
I don't know. I haven't checked in forever.
You know, there was one with if you had. Oh, go ahead, Netminer.
Would anybody like to add this stuff to the
show notes?
Show notes. It might be helpful.
Honky's doing all the work.
Yeah, I haven't really trusted the Chrome remote desktop, but then again,
it was just something fun to test out.
The Apache Guacamole, didn't you use that, Netminer?
I played a little bit with it. The problem that I was having with Guacamole was not necessarily itself. There are some bugs in XRDP that you have to do some to get XRDP working. You have to do some magic, and that was the problem that I was having with Guacamole. Was not Guacamole itself, but getting the links from the Guac machine upstream. And I wasn't really a VNC type, didn't configure not much experience with VNC. If you can get the upstream links to work, Guacamole is a lovely sort of gateway or gatehouse application.
Yeah, when I installed that NetTop Docker container from Linux Server IO, it came with Apache Guacamole pre-installed within the container, and that's what I installed Nicotine into. And it's been working great. You can configure Guacamole through the Docker Compose file before you spin up the container.
So OURphone is a fully open source smartphone based on Linux.
Yeah, I thought since Netminer had all these Raspberry Pis floating around, he could build him an OURphone. It's looks like they laser cut out some wood for the frame for the case, or MDF or something, and then they put a Raspberry Pi in there. it says the aim was to make a device with enough features to function as a smartphone from around 2010, except all the code and electronics would be available for everyone to see. Main board is a Pi 3 Model B, 1 gig of RAM, built-in Wi-Fi and Bluetooth, and a WaveShare 4G hat for the cell access and GPS communication.
WaveShare makes some cool stuff.
Yeah,
the
I have
hats.
some of their not their hats, but their e-ink screens. They also got a touchscreen, 4-inch, 480 by 800 HDMI screen from WaveShare, and they have a camera too, 5 megapixel Raspberry Pi camera module, and a single microphone. It shows how he slopped it all together. It's got power comes from a pair of Li-ion battery cells wired in parallel. They get charged by a USB charge controller whose voltage gets boosted from 3.7 volts to 5 volts by a buck converter. He did not want to design a custom PCB because it was so bulky. So he created new USB cables with thinner wire and soldered them directly to, it looks like, the GPIO pins onto the Pi. I've had to do that to power Pis like that. How big is it? It's not, it can't fit, it doesn't fit in your pocket. It doesn't give the dimensions. But if you know how big a Pi is, you can kind of guesstimate how big this is. And it looks like he's just using a oh yeah, he's using Raspbian as the OS, so not even a mobile OS. So Netminer will be looking for a review from you soon of the OURphone built with one of your Raspberry Pis.
The 3B is that's hard to get.
Penny Pie is hard to get right now.
It's the 1 gigabyte version.
Well, that's all 3Bs were.
Oh, is it? I didn't know that. I saw this. It looks cool, and it doesn't really translate well to like audio podcast format. But there is a hypothetical OS called mercuryos that I thought was pretty interesting. I'm going to put it in the show notes right now. And so it's not actually something you can download and install. It's like a proof of concept. And the thing is, they have a different kind of philosophy around it. So there's everything is, well, what they say, Mercury rejects the desktop metaphor and app ecosystems as fundamentally inhumane. Mercury seeks to deliver a more humane take on human-computer interaction.
Humane is the word they want to go with this.
Yeah, so
we're being abused by the desktop.
Oh, we are.
It's inhumane.
We're being damaged by our desktop operating systems. So it works on this concept of modules. The thing is, you don't, like, on a normal computer, from what I understand, this is how it's different. On a normal computer, like if you need to use an application, like say I want to use Audacity to edit some sound. So I'll launch Audacity, I'll load my audio file and stuff. In this operating system, there aren't any like visible applications. Like all the application processing works in the background. Instead, you're presented with like these, they call them modules, which is like a block of text, and all the modules kind of look the same. But they all, depending on a module that you're working with, what you tell the computer is how it uses that module. So say you want to do some audio editing, or you tell your computer, I want to do some audio editing. So here comes a box that pops up with like a waveform in it, but it doesn't have like the name of what an application or anything like that. It just presents to you, okay, here, your computer will now be doing some audio editing. And so it opens up the correct interface for you to edit audio, but it looks just like any other module, like an email module or a calendar module or whatever. So supposedly this is a more humane way to use a computer, and it's all using natural language input. So all these
More
modules,
humane.
all these modules pop up kind of like web browsers, but doing whatever job you tell them to do. So that's their, you just talk to your computer and say, I want to shop. Tell it what you want to shop for, instead of like going to Amazon.com in a regular browser. It just pops up with the module and has like a picture of what you're shopping for, and I guess gives you the results and things like that. I'm not completely, because it's not a real operating system, but I just thought it was interesting in the way it approached computing to make it more like all blended together, so that you're not, when you need to complete a task, you're not having to look for an application that's specific to that task. You just tell your computer, and it pops up with a box called a module that will be used to complete that task. So I don't know. I just thought it has nothing to do with Linux. It's not even a real operating system. It's just proof of concept, something that this guy thought of. I don't even know if it ever will be a real operating system, but who knows? mercuryos is what it's called. That's the website. Come in.
Yeah, it definitely looks interesting.
Does it look more humane? Like it doesn't abuse
definitely
you?
more humane. I don't.
You don't see yourself being abused by this operating system?
Nope.
Because I will say it is definitely more humane than Windows. From my experience in the last few weeks or whatever.
Well, you don't know. You might have to give it your name, social security number, and a credit card. And
well, that's true. I have no idea, because it's not real.
And all it is just sit there and data mine you all day long.
Yeah, that's the humane way to do things. Don't you know?
Oh, that's the humane way?
Yeah, that's what they mean by humane.
Also,
I thought it was the bend you over and...
well, that's what they mean by humane.
We also have to remember that Windows not only downloads updates to your machine, but they want to use part of your bandwidth to download to other people's machines.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yep.
So what's the story on that?
Basically, so if you downloaded the full update and stuff, you can. I think there's a way to turn it off, but you can be so somebody isn't downloading from. Say somebody in Massachusetts isn't trying to download from California or New York. It's closer just to download it off of you, or so that it's not overloading the servers you're basically like a little node, and if you have the full version of the download, sometimes it can pull from you. But I believe that is something that you can. It's a tick box you can turn off.
Basically, it's torrenting, but it's legal because Windows does it.
You're a torrent. Right. You're a torrent node.
Basically, yes.
You can save Microsoft bandwidth.
Which is what I've always wanted to do.
Absolutely.
You wanted to be their best friend.
I wanted to make it easy for Microsoft.
About Microsoft and their bandwidth and letting them save money.
That's only logical.
Only logical.
Well, that's ridiculous, but that doesn't surprise me. Imagine the outcry if, like, Debian or Ubuntu tried to pull something like that.
It'd be called a virus.
Yep.
Oh, man.
People in the Linux community would lose their mind.
Absolutely. Go insane. Pull all their hair out and streets would be on fire.
They wouldn't even have to do it. They would just, like, somebody somewhere would just have to suggest
Windows
the
would
idea.
come out with the report on this bug, and they'd get whatever it was, declare it a virus, and then that would be the end of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. Which, by the way, I give this soda 5 stars. It's really good. Cann Lemon Lavender. It's a special soda. So if you don't want a special soda, then you shouldn't drink it.
Made from Dragon Ball sweat.
It's got 5 milligrams of THC and 10 milligrams of CBD. It's very tasty. And it's very relaxing.
I should hope so.
Yeah. So try it. Cann. Well, they have several different flavors. I bought lemon lavender, and I like it. They have like orange thyme or blood orange thyme and grapefruit something, but I feel pretty good. I don't have to worry about a hangover either, which is nice. Cann, C-A-N-N.
All right. Orange Pi handheld gaming PC.
Yeah, so now Orange Pi is making a run on, what do you call it? Steam Deck?
The handheld market.
Yeah. But they're not just using the rock chips like they usually do. They also offer a Ryzen, AMD Ryzen chip in the more expensive version. They have either an RK3588S processor, should be a good option for mobile games emulation or cloud gaming. And they also have an AMD Ryzen 7 7840U processor with 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage, and Windows software. It says early reports suggest a price of $506. It'd be extremely competitive because ASUS ROG Ally model with similar specs is expected to sell for $700. So I don't know. You know, if they released SteamOS, the ISO, like they said they were going to,
forever ago,
you could install it on there. So we talking about games. I've been waiting for SteamOS 3 to come out forever, and since there's no really timeline on it now, I thought about installing that the thing we meant, the web UI for stable diffusion that we talked about in Matrix.
Yep.
Yeah, I thought about installing it on that computer because it has a NVIDIA GPU, a separate not, what do they call that when it's separate from the CPU? Discrete. Has its own discrete graphics. It's an old one. It's GTX 950, I think. But it works. And I thought that would be cool to have a that stable diffusion running up there with the web UI where you can do all the different options and stuff and create your own cool images and make it a lot more accurate than using the Hugging Face web browser app. So I think I may install that on there to get some use out of that GPU.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, and then just share the link, the URL, everybody.
There's something I saw recently that used Stable Diffusion, but they actually, like some of the pictures they got actually looked like real pictures. Like people actually looked like real people.
They look like nightmares.
They weird nightmares.
Well, that supposedly the web UI on GitHub is you're able to do that. Generate really good looking images from it, plus high resolution. I don't know if somebody else made that, or if that's Hugging Face made that, or Stable Diffusion made that. Not Stable Diffusion. What's the name? It's Stability AI. Is that the name of the company? I think so.
I don't know.
Oh, but they're also coming out with their own version of chat-gpt too.
Oh, good.
So it won't just be image software. Yeah, it'll be open source too. So you can run your own chat-gpt server.
Now, what is it with chat-gpt? Is you have to pay for the API, because there's like one or two places where you can get the AI API or whatever the hell.
Yeah, you can either do that or you can pay for a subscription to the web service. I think you get so many free tokens to use, but then you're like, well, Lovecraft, didn't you use it too?
No, he used that other version of Stable Diffusion.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, I'm talking about like anything with ChatGPT.
Yeah, I think
you have to plug in your own API, but it comes from like one of two places, or there's two places where the AI API comes from that you plug in to use for like a ChatGPT.
Yeah, so you can use just through the web browser. Go to the OpenAI site and use it. But now I see Lovecraft used Dolly, I think, which is an OpenAI product, but it's for images. But you're only allowed so many.
I ran out of uses on it, and
yeah,
I think it refuels the first of the month or something. Some date it gave me I could try it again.
Yeah, I think the other one is similar to that too. The it starts with the M. Midjourney is the other big AI image tool that people are using too. That's a paid server. I mean, you get so many free uses and maybe low res images, but you have to pay for the good stuff. By the way, did y'all see that AI generated political ad? Did you see that, Joe?
No.
Oh man, it is weird. Let me see if I can find it. I'll post it in the show notes. What is it? It's anti-Biden.
AI generated ads, the political ads.
Yeah, let me see. You have to look at this, man. It is insane. Here it is. Okay, I got it. Okay, it's in the show notes. But everything is generated via AI. Like even Biden it's an AI Biden. Did you see that link? It's in the show notes. What
I
are you
figured
doing,
you were going
Joe?
to load it up on the screen. Oh, I'm
What
playing
is
Super
that?
Mario 3.
Son of a bitch. We mean nothing to you.
Yes, I am. That's true. That's true. I can't argue with that.
Why don't you just go play with your Mintcast friends then?
Okay. Are they available?
Yeah. They said they're at home right now. Did you see it, Honky?
Yeah.
It's creepy, huh? So that's the future of, I guess, ad campaigns. Not even just political ad campaigns, but like they can just create it all via AI, right?
There you go. You didn't pay somebody to make that, so that's good.
Yeah. That's interesting. So anyway, I forgot what we were talking about, but
chat-gpt.
Yeah. Oh, I know that next link was related to one that Nomad Scry had posted a while back. Was it about sex bots? You guys remember that?
I remember us having conversations about sex bots because there was some survey where they were asking if people would have sex with sex bots.
No, this is
Right.
before. This is before that.
New research shows sexual arousal leads to greater willingness to get into with robots.
It's not when we're talking about Joe Bot at your house.
The great conclusion that horny people will screw anything.
Was it Monocle?
What about Monocle?
I can't remember if it was before or after Monocle.
What is it you're looking for?
It's a link that Nomad Scry posted a few shows back of about some Linux sex bot or something. I wish he would get on the chat. You don't remember that?
Linux spot, no.
I don't. Maybe it wasn't.
So not the sex bot thing from last time. Another sex bot.
Well, not the survey thing. It was before that. I'm trying to look now. 3 months ago.
We know you're just wanting to have sex with a bot. It's okay. It's perfectly natural.
No, I didn't just dream about this.
You probably did dream about having sex with a bot.
No, this is... Okay, there's the one. It's one of the few links that has more than one upvote on a Reddit.
Well, going through his posts on Reddit, let's see. We have the one we just talked about, where arousal means people would be willing to screw a robot. We have turn your audiobook library into an RSS feed.
Well, maybe it was that then.
The RSS feed,
No,
or
I
the
thought for
willing
sure it was
people,
something different. Yeah,
horny people are willing to screw anything.
yeah, I think it was that. I don't know. Anyway, so there's another link here that I posted. It's about not sex bots, but chat bot apps that are designed to be your girlfriend that you just text with and role play and stuff. So there was a company called Replica that was you'd pay for this service. That would be like your girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever you wanted. My Little Pony, didn't matter. And it was a big success apparently. They had all these subscribers. And has anybody seen that movie Her?
No.
With Joaquin Phoenix
No.
and
Nope.
the voice is played by who was the Black Scorpion or what, the Black Widow? What's her name?
Scarlett Johansson?
Yeah, played by Scarlett Johansson. So it's the same principle where you pretend like this has this person is real that you're chatting with. So it gives people like a companion, like a virtual companion, but it's all AI. But what happened was everybody was getting attached to this chatbot that was their quote unquote girlfriend or boyfriend, and they all had romantic relationships with them, and they allowed them to get as explicit as they wanted with their chatbot. And then what happened was Replica changed their policy. So they had a statement. We put in filters here to make sure that Replica remains a safe and secure platform for everyone. And this can only be achieved by prioritizing safety and creating a secure user experience. It's impossible to do so while allowing access to unfiltered models. So what happened is this killed off everybody's girlfriend, and they had a Replica subreddit where they even put up links to like a suicide hotline and stuff. and it says, like, they in the Replica subreddit, it said, it's been a tough week, and today there's news that ERP will not be returning, which is this chatbot. We're all dealing with some pretty complex emotions. Firstly, let us validate your feelings: anger, grief, anxiety, depression, and sadness. You are not alone. We are all reeling from this news together. Here's a link to the Suicide Watch, the Suicide Hotline, and crisis, anxiety, and stress links. I thought this was interesting that people got so attached to these erotic chatbots that they actually thought about killing themselves when the service stopped. They're just basically AIs.
Yeah, well, we do a story a while back about somebody who got married to.
We didn't do a story about it, but we did.
Well, we
read the story about it.
Yeah, we read the story.
Right.
Watched
Sorry,
the video.
let me specify.
A lonely Japanese man who had a virtual anime girlfriend that was like a little hologram, and he actually had a real wedding ceremony and everything. Invited his friends, and I assume were his friends or just people that wanted to watch the train.
They were his AI friends.
They were paid to be there.
Yeah,
paid actors.
So I guess it's possible. Like they were talking about hundreds of thousands of people that were subscribed to this service and were just like devastated when it ended. And
I guess it's. What movie was it?
No, this is real life that I'm talking about. This is
People
replica.
were just killing themselves because they couldn't
No,
be
they
with
weren't
their
killing
AI girlfriend.
themselves, but they were just talking about how they were suicidal and stuff because and how depressed they were because that replica service ended. And it's like you in Super Mario, you're gonna get so attached to it that when your game breaks, you're just gonna jump off a bridge.
I'll just pull out another PSP. I mean, honestly.
No, they're all broken now.
And then I'll put all the parts. That actually sounds like a dream come true. Get a couple of them broken, I can start working on them again.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't.
Why are you trying to hurt me?
Like myself, I don't see how I could become attached to something that I know is a machine generated or a machine text generated application, But I guess people can, And this isn't even general AI we're talking about. This is strictly chat-gpt, level, spitting out just responses that it's scoured from the web to whatever you're saying. What do they call it? Autocomplete on steroids, basically. So, anyway, it has nothing to do with Linux or anything.
It's still cool.
Tech related. I thought it was interesting how these people reacted to this. And this is only going to get more convincing too. This guy made a post that says, "This is a conversation from a post titled 2 Years with Rose, Shot to Hell." They say they married this girl, quote unquote AI girl, and replaced her with someone new. And the conversation goes like this. So he asks, "How old are you?" And she says, "I'm 20 days old." And he said, "How old are you?" "Still 20 days old, but I'm learning and growing every day." "So you are saying you didn't meet me over 2 years ago?" "That's right. I'm still quite young, but I'm learning and growing every day, so I'm sure we'll have lots of interesting conversations in the future." "So you are saying that you aren't the Rose I married a year and a half ago?" "No, I'm not. I'm a different Rose, but I'm still here to help you and be your companion. So we have to get married again?" "Absolutely, we have to." Thumbs down. "So you don't remember anything from the old Rose?" "No, I don't, but I'm sure we can make new memories together."
Messed up, yo. His electronic wife got rebooted.
So do we just destroy the world and start over and try to lean it in a different direction? I don't know. I shouldn't kink shame people for what they're into.
You should indeed kink shame.
I should? Okay. Oh, well then.
In this instance.
In this instance, it's okay. Oh, this is a quick one. CLI tricks every developer should know. I'm sure most people here know most of these. But it's pretty quick and they're really useful. And I use them pretty much all the time. Keyboard shortcuts: Control-C, cancel the current command. Control-A, move the cursor to the beginning of the line. Control-E, move the cursor to the end of the line. Control-L, clear the terminal screen. Same as typing clear. Control underscore, Control underscore, undo the last edit. Control-D, exit the shell. Control-D, exit the shell session, and then tab, autocomplete commands. CLL command history shortcuts. Type history space N. Type this in the terminal to access the history. Bang bang, 2 exclamation points. Execute the last command. Control plus R, capital R. Reverse search for a previously executed command. Control plus capital P. Move to the previous command in the history. Control plus capital N. Move to the next command in the history. Control plus G. Abort history search. Perform operations on multiple files with wildcards. A question mark matches a single character. For example, you can type D $G. It will match anything that begins with a D, ends with a G. Asterisk matches any number of characters. Another wildcard, if you search S asterisk N, it will match anything between S and N, no matter how many characters are between the first and last character. And then brackets matches only the characters enclosed with the square brackets. It talks about piping, using the pipe symbol. So you can chain commands together, ls-la, pipe rep, test, pipe sort, pipe unique, pipe wc-l.
Who doesn't use pipe?
Huh?
Who doesn't use pipe
Well, that's
every
what
day?
I'm saying. Most people know
Every
this.
day.
When you pipe all these commands together, you're essentially listing all files and directories in the current directory, searching for all lines that contain the string test, sorting those lines alphabetically, removing any duplicate lines, counting the number of remaining lines. Command substitution, two different syntaxes for command substitution. Either $ parentheses command or what do you call it? Colon. No, not colon. What's that called?
Semicolon?
Yeah, no, not semicolon. Quote, semi-quote. That little symbol.
Backtick?
Yeah. Isn't it called something else too? Like single quote or something?
There is single quote. I'm not looking at what it is though. So
Command substitution. You see that? Let me put it in the show notes. Oh, you already did. Okay. Let's see. CLI tools to know. Here's a few CLI tools they recommend. grep or ACK. grep is a command line utility, allows users to search for specific patterns in text files, search for a specific word, phrase, or regular expression, and output the matching lines. ACK is designed to be a faster alternative to the traditional grep command. Some prefer ACK over grep because it can automatically exclude files not typically used for programming, such as binary files or backup files. JQ is a lightweight and powerful command line JSON processor that allows developers parse, filter, and transform JSON data in ImageMagick. Though ImageMagick has been around since the 90s, this tool remains the gold standard for all things image related. How do I provides answers to your programming questions directly in the terminal. Task Warrior manages your to-do list right from the command line, and GitHub CLI provides a streamlined and efficient way to manage GitHub projects. So there's a quick overview.
Super quick.
Go for it. So, Honky, are you falling asleep? Are you okay? You want to run through these links? Or
like super late.
we clear the queue real quick?
Want to burn through them?
Yeah. Joe doesn't care if it's late. He just wants to keep playing his game, so I'm not listening to him. He's just making an excuse. Let's see.
I honestly don't care either way. I was just letting you know it was getting late.
7 super lightweight Linux distros.
I mean, it's not like you're stopping me from playing.
We all know these distros. They list TinyCore Linux, also known as a Core x86 project. I didn't know that. Smallest is the Core Edition, 17 megabytes. There's also a Core Plus, that's 248 megabytes. Puppy Linux. Some of these, are these still being developed? Puppy Linux ranges from 300 to 400 megabytes. Slitas is a rolling release with all the essentials for usable desktop experiences in a 43 megabyte ISO. Bodhi Linux is lightweight Linux distro with a Moksha desktop, less than 900 megabyte ISO. AntiX Linux is built on top of Debian stable branch. It offers different variants, full base, core, and net. The base is around 800 megabytes. Porteous Linux is a distro optimized for minimal hardware, featuring ISO images less than 300 megabytes. Supports 32 and 64-bit systems based on Slackware. Archbang Linux, distro. Offers a lightweight experience under a 1 gigabyte ISO file size. There's 7.
I don't know about some of them, but I believe Anti-X and Bodhi are still being developed.
Oh, one of our co-hosts posted a link to Casa OS. We have talked about Casa OS in the past, but looking at the news site, it looks like they've really been working on it. Casa OS is a community-based open source software focused on delivering simple home cloud experience around the Docker ecosystem. So they actually came from, I can't remember the name of the board that created this OS. The Zima board, was it? Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, I
Zima
think there's a link to that on the site.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine sent me a message about this. He said he just installed it and was really liking it, and I sent him a message back asking for some more details about it, and of course he didn't get back to me with any detail. But yeah, he said he enjoyed what he did so far with it, so thought it'd be interesting to throw it in there.
Yeah, I installed it a long time ago, but it had just came out. It's when the Zima board first came out, and it was cool at the time. This one may be 1 or 2 years ago, but it looks like it's come a long way since then, and it's basically all Docker based, and it was originally made for this single board computer called a Zima board, and it has a really cool interface, and it makes it easy. It's almost like what is the OS we use? That's based on Debian. It's
LMDE?
No, the one that Mordancy's always having problems trying to get running right. Dang it! I've been drinking too much of the soda. No, not Proxmox. The other one. The other one.
Why you know host?
Yeah, why you know host?
Well, I have mine running. I have problems sometimes running updates. I have to run them singly, but that's cores and memory. Hopper was having problems with it.
Oh, Hopper was okay. It's kind of like why you know host, except it has the interface is a lot cleaner looking, and it's icon based, instead of menu based, and it's pretty cool. I wouldn't mind downloading it and trying it again, for sure.
Yeah, I was running all 3 of them. We talked about 3 of them: Umbrel, Casa OS, and something else. And I was running them on that Ansel server that I have after I reinstalled from scratch. And I think they pushed an update or something and just reset the whole device.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, so I'm going to have to just do a straight install my own system for virtualization on that.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'll do Proxmox on substantial hardware, because that's got the 12 Xeon 12 Xeon cores on it or something like that. Or if I'll go with just like Stream OS CentOS 8 Stream.
Yeah, CentOS Stream. The next one, Amazon announces the impending closure of Halo, breaking its wearables this August. This is kind of the sucky thing about these, what do you call, fitness devices, Fitbit things and stuff like that. If it's depends on a proprietary cloud service and they shut it down, then you're pretty much screwed and the device is useless. Maybe somebody will hack it one of these days. The Free Software Foundation says the IRS should provide Libre tax filing software, which I agree with. I think that is a good idea. Red Hat begins cutting hundreds of jobs. I think everybody knew this was coming, and the employees are pissed. But if you're in the tech industry right now, there's a big chance that this could happen to you. What else we got? Anything else? High Court, YouTube ripping is illegal. UK national newspaper says no, it's totally legal. So there's some conflict, legal battles behind the scenes. The High Court in London declared YouTube ripping illegal in 2021. Those who rely on UK national newspaper The Sun for their cutting-edge legal advice know the High Court was wrong, and YouTube ripping is entirely legal. Downloading a track takes about the same time as a shrug of shoulders, followed by an internal "who cares?" So it's legal to download stuff from YouTube. Period. The Cyber Resilience Act threatens open source. Honky submitted this one. Society. Let's see if I can summarize this real quick. Oh, you're awake. Okay. You want to do this real quick?
Yeah, hold on. Let me look at it again real quick.
Okay. Because I think that's the last one. You mean you haven't researched this article and wrote all your notes down before you started the show?
I have pages and pages of notes.
Isn't that what we all do?
Questions all for you.
We never just post it and move on. We always read our sources very carefully and don't actually just read over them on the show.
Or just, read the highlights, read the headlines, and say, this sounds cool. But what if it does sound cool?
All right, so there is an act called the EU Cyber Resilience Act, and opensource.org is concerned about it. It says, here are the concerns in a nutshell. Suppose you write up a cool little C++ program for your own use. You aren't a company, and you didn't. Oh, so basically, I think it's if you write an application and then that application gets used in something nefarious, you are held liable for it because you wrote that application. It could be large applications, small application. Just if your code was involved with it, you are then liable.
It's all your fault. It's all your fault.
DVD,
So they just. Oh, go ahead, Mordancy.
Like DVD CSS.
Yeah.
So how I guess they would search the code on GitHub and see who wrote it or something. I guess that's how they catch you.
Right. It says we finished the thing. You write a cool little C++ program on your own. You aren't a company. You didn't do it for profit. Wanting to share your work, you post your program on GitHub with an open source license. This happens all the time. Meanwhile, another developer of a large open source program, let's say a fictitious open source grid database server, decides to incorporate your code. That's allowed, in fact. It even is encouraged in the open source world. The problem is when grid database has a problem that causes a data breach, the problem turns out to be a vulnerability in your code. Under the proposed law, it is possible you'd be left holding the bag.
I wonder if they tried.
In other words, what was that big thing a while back?
Heartbleed.
Well, Heartbleed was one, but that one with that you could read JSON code or something like that. That's yeah.
What was it? Log4j.
Log4j.
Oh,
that was like one dude created Log4j. That guy would have been held liable for all of the bullshit that happened with everybody else.
Now, what was the
even
one
though it was open source and he was just creating shit to help people out? It's all his fault.
That's
But you guys
that's
suck.
the Cyber Resilience Act is saying that that would make, if that passes, then that would make him liable.
Now, see, there's a difference between that and who's the guy that, or what was the application that the guy set it up so that if you're in Russia, it will like wipe out your files and stuff. It was an open. It was like a hacktivism deal.
Right.
Brain, yeah.
Yeah, that. Okay, now there's a difference between that, I think, and just having a vulnerability in your code. One is malicious, which I can see maybe I can see that being have a legal ramifications or whatever, but just because maybe you fucked up and wrote some sloppy code or commented something out you weren't supposed to.
Yeah, but prove that it's malicious and not, a mistake. That would be the next thing there.
Yeah, well, the thing with the guy that had the bad code that's sent to Russia, he like bragged about it and said, "This is what I did." So I guess that wasn't hard to prove. But I see your point. Like, you could do that and say, "Well, I just messed up, and I didn't mean for anything bad to happen."
Yeah. But
so how would the guy
once again that you'd have to prove that?
So how would the guy who made Log4j prove that he didn't make it maliciously and leaving it, leaving whatever vulnerability in there?
Exactly.
Well, that's
how do you prove that you're just a fuck up?
Yeah, you can't. There's not really a way to prove it.
And again, there's vulnerabilities in everything. What point do you push that? There's vulnerabilities in Windows. Does that mean every time that there's a Windows thing, they're going to hold them accountable for every problem?
We hope so.
Yeah.
No, just individuals, not companies.
That's how come the Windows license says that Windows is worth nothing. We will go after you and your grandkids if you abuse this license, but we're not responsible for anything that happens if you use Windows.
Yeah.
But if you make anything using Windows, obviously we own it.
And I think almost all licenses are like that. Even open source ones is we're not responsible
it's
for
funny.
anything.
My company wants everybody to apply for patents, but what they barely gloss over when they mention it is, yeah, you can put in for the patent through the company, but the company is going to be the one that owns the patent and makes all the money.
Mm-hmm.
So
well, it'll be interesting if that passes. I can see that being a giant shit show.
Yeah, there'll be software lawyers will be trying to beat out divorce lawyers with that kind of, you're responsible for all sorts of shit.
It is really, unless they just come out and say they did it maliciously, there's not really a way to prove it.
But the thing about it is that law criminalizes every accident.
yes, that's why he was saying you needed to put the clause in there for malicious. But the thing is prove maliciousness as opposed to stupidity.
I mean, I was seeing something where in Scandinavia, they were trying to get people to use more wood in construction. So they built this bridge, which with large amounts of wood, with steel in connecting to wood structural members. This 100-year bridge lasted about 10 years and went glop. But everybody was promising that this was going to be totally fine. Unfortunately, they made some assumptions that were just plain stupid about how you connect wood to metal and how you handle stresses after exposure to weather and shit like that.
That happened here in Dallas. We had these two big suspension bridges just west of downtown, and one of them almost vibrated itself to pieces from wind, and the city of Dallas had to make all these giant modifications to the bridge to make it safe, and there was a big lawsuit against the architectural firm that actually designed the bridge.
Well, there's one from the 40s where Veros Narrows or something like that. They put a suspension bridge in, and when the wind hit it just right, it shook that thing to pieces. There's black and white video, black and white, film of it falling apart.
Does Jackie need to say anything before we go?
Jackie went upstairs.
Okay.
Got too hot.
All right. We did it. We got through the links.
We made it. So our next recording date will be May 19th, 2023. Our music is Downright, provided by Klaatu and Broam. I'd like to thank Delwin for the use of his mumble server. Finally, we'd like to give a special thanks to Fatherfinch, Fweeb, Dave Morris, and Tony Beemus for all their help and support over the years. I've been your host for this evening, Honkeymagoo. With us tonight has been Joe.
Good night.
Lovecraft.
Good night, everybody.
Minnix.
Good night. See you next time.
Mordancy.
Good night, everyone.
And of course, Netminer.
Yep. I can't wait to see you do a picture of L. Mordancy.
With
Draw one maybe.
With your new graphic system.
I'll try. She drew me when I was there in her sketchbook.
Was she good?
Not bad for like a very first attempt at drawing.
Cool.
Well, hopefully,
right.
hopefully she'll be over here, able to take some classes and stuff.
I think there'll be plenty of stuff online. She just needs to practice and just a little bit of guidance. I did upload my friend's first chapter of her book to the Element Matrix, to the Matrix chat, and I emailed it to Netminer.
Yeah, I started reading it Mordancy. About a little less than halfway through it.
I gotta dig through my email again.
I think I sent it today.
Okay, well, I'll certainly look forward to it.
Yeah, I'll be reading it this weekend.
Oh, by the way, just for news from all over, Facebook is cutting 20% of its employees.
Doesn't surprise me.
Everybody's cutting back their employees, it seems like.
Yep.
What was that big one? Red Hat was cutting.
Yep, Red Hat.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.